Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and if you love Bethesda, The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and even Starfield, and you're not subscribed yet to the KingFanMan channel, why not? That's all I talk about here, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. There is a lot going on right now with Xbox, and it's having a major effect on all of the studios they own, including Bethesda studios. We just learned last week that Xbox's new CEO, Asha Sharma, is pushing for much more money and resources to go into Xbox's proven franchises, Halo, Fallout, and The Elder Scrolls. Now, this is in order to get these games out faster to fans, and while this is great news for those fans, it is also obvious that these resources have to come from somewhere, and today we learned that this may hit one of Bethesda Studios very hard. In fact, it may even be shutting down. We already knew another round of massive layoffs were probably coming July of this year, but now a new claim from Insider Gaming's Mike Straw says at least 2 studios are very concerned about their future and the possibility of being closed down. The first is Montreal's Compulsion Games, the makers of South of Midnight, and the second is Bethesda's own Arkane Lyon, the makers of Dishonored, Deathloop, and the upcoming Marvel Blade game. Now, this takes on an even more tragic tone because the only other Arkane studio that was in Austin, Texas, was already shut down by Xbox on May the 7th back in 2024 after the disastrous launch and reception of the game Redfall. Insider Gaming's Mike Straw wrote, "2 of the studios I've been told, including getting messages from employees at the locations who are scared, are Compulsion and Arkane. Despite public messaging, many within the studios have expressed real worry and have overheard conversations about the future." He goes on to say, "Some employees who spoke to me are the higher-ups within the studios and have said there is real concern that they are next, based on the messaging from the company." Being Xbox. Now, first, the wording he uses seems to say that these 2 studios may not be the last to get the axe from Xbox, and it also appears that Xbox is already communicating with the leaders of these 2 studios, and though the final decision has not yet been made, it's obvious the employees of Compulsion and Arkane are extremely concerned for their future. Let's take just a moment and answer why Xbox may be targeting these studios. First, Arkane has been a very successful studio putting out all hits in the past, like the Dishonored series and Deathloop, and they're currently working on a game that has a lot of excitement behind it, and that is the game Marvel Blade. So why would Xbox choose this very talented studio if all they've ever put out in the past has been hits? Sadly, the answer always comes down to money. The Dishonored series sold very well, with all 3 games selling over 12.5 million copies. And their latest game, Deathloop, was another critical success, selling over 5 million copies. However, if you compare Deathloop to Fallout 4, Fallout 4 sold over 25 million copies and made an estimated $1.5 billion with a B. If you take all of the Dishonored games and Deathloop sales, it only reaches under 400 million. That means Fallout 4 made almost $1.2 billion with a B, more than all of the current games from Arkane Lyon. And when you look at Compulsion Studios, sadly, it's about the same story as Arkane. Their last game, South of Midnight, sold about $2 million worth, again with an M, and Fallout is selling in the billions. That's why Xbox is literally putting all their eggs in the basket of Halo, The Elder Scrolls, and Fallout. Sadly, this is just the beginning of the fallout, pardon the pun, of Xbox pumping resources into those big franchises. The month of July may turn out to be the most brutal month ever within Xbox, with thousands of layoffs expected and even more studios on the chopping block. Even though I'm excited about Xbox making a greater commitment to Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, I absolutely hate seeing it negatively affect these other studios. I don't want to see anyone lose their jobs, and seeing the possibility of a studio as talented as Arkane being closed is truly heartbreaking. Dishonored and Prey are two of my very favorite games, and I can only hope that Arkane can survive as a private studio, or maybe they can be acquired by another studio, much like what happened to Tango Gameworks when Xbox gave them the boot back in June of 2024. I think this article summed it up very nicely. It says, you'd think that a studio like Arkane Lyon, stacked with so much talent and the creators of some incredible games, would have earned itself a little more leeway. But what's impossible to ignore is the fact that Marvel's Blade is a licensed game. It will be making money for Disney way before it makes any money for Xbox. And also you need to consider, with no Blade film in sight, there's no guarantee of game sales from being able to align with the game and the movie. So with Arkane games always historically making way less money than a Fallout or Elder Scrolls game, and knowing that Disney will be taking a huge chunk of those smaller profits right off the top of the Marvel Blade game, you see why Xbox is making this decision. I don't mean it makes it any easier to swallow, but you can at least understand it from just a financial perspective. Hey, thank you for getting your Bethesda news right here in the King's Corner. Before you get out of here, please do me a favor, like this video and make a comment down below. Both of those things help this video and my channel greatly. Also, if you'd like to support me, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can join this channel, become a member of the King's Crew with all the benefits, or you can become one of my Patreons. That link is down in the description. I am the KingFanMan. Bye, everybody.